At the beginning of the story, we see a sister-year-old housewife named Sandy. Sandy was very happy with her husband and two children and loved them very much. One day, while watching a video of her son's birthday party on her husband's laptop, she stumbles upon a video that reveals her husband is having an affair with a woman named Jennifer. Disheartened by this, she divorces her husband and moves to New York with her children. To support her family and start a new life, Sandy quits her job and needs a place to live. She rents a house in New York. One day, when she goes to a cafe next to her house, she meets a 30-year-old man named Aram. Aram had recently broken up with her, and they are both looking for happiness. Sandy is also trying to adjust to life in New York with her children. To do this, she joins a self-defense class, which teaches self-defense as well as mental well-being. There, she meets Aram again. Even after graduating, Aram couldn't find a good job, so he had to work there to earn money, which he didn't like at all. The class teacher tells Sandy to vent her anger on Aram. Remembering her husband's actions, Sandy unleashes her anger on Aram. First, she hurls filthy abuse at him, then begins beating him like a dog. The next day, Sandy apologizes to Aram for her actions and asks him if he can find a babysitter for her children. Aram says, "If you want, I can do it because I need the money." Sandy agrees. That same night, when Aram arrives at Sandy's house for a babysitter, he discovers that Sandy's children are very naughty and they need to be cared for. It's not that easy to handle. Sandy then leaves Aram there and goes on a date with a man. But the man was a complete jerk and was acting strangely with Sandy, making her uncomfortable. Sandy returns home upset. Meanwhile, at home, Aram had gradually become friends with Sandy's children. He put them to sleep. That night, Sandy tells Aram about her bad date and says, "I want a man who can keep me happy and provide a good upbringing for my children." The next morning, while Aram was working at the cafe, Sandy's two children arrived and told him that their mother had died. Aram was shocked to hear this and quickly went to check on Sandy. Aram told the children that she was not dead, but was fast asleep. We then see Sandy, whose life had improved, and she had even found a good job at a news agency. Because Sandy was busy, she was still in a state of shock. She offers Aram a permanent maid service, but his parents are unhappy with Aram's job. Aram graduated from a good college and didn't want him to work as maid service. Following their advice, Aram begins looking for a job at a major company. Along with his maid service, time slowly passes, and Aram grows closer to Sandy and the children. Sandy's friends also realize that Sandy has begun to like him. Aram, on the other hand, has no interest in other women and prefers to be with Sandy and her children. One day, Sandy offers Aram 2 tickets from a fighting match and tells him to go watch it with his friends. Aram says he doesn't have any friends, so he asks Sandy to come with him. Sandy agrees. They both go to watch the match together, where Sandy has a lot of fun. Later, a man approaches Aram, who is the CEO of a large company, where Aram had gone for an interview. Overhearing their conversation, Sandy learns that Aram had gotten a job at the company, but Aram left it to pursue babysitting. After the CEO leaves, Sandy asks Aram why he left for her. Aram tells her that for the first time, he is feeling happy doing something and that he loves being with Sandy and her family. Then, we see that during a match, a boxer falls directly on Aram, causing him serious injuries. Sandy picks him up and brings him home and asks him to stay overnight. Sandy's ex-husband arrives and asks Sandy and the children to return with him. He tells Aram to leave, but he refuses. He tells Sandy to vent her anger on her husband. Sandy begins telling her husband everything she told him in self-defense class. She had said that she abuses her ex-husband. Sandy had told her husband everything that had been in her heart for years. Hearing this, her husband runs away. Sandy then tells Aram that she is taking him on a date tomorrow. The next day, Aram tells his friend that he is going on a date with Sandy tonight. His friend is deeply saddened by this, as he has a stage performance that night and wanted Aram to come. Aram, unable to upset his friend, comes to see Sandy's show that evening. After the show, he takes Sandy to a party where they begin to grow closer. But Aram meets his ex-girlfriend there, who says she wants to return to him, but Ram ignores her and goes back to Sandy. After the party, they return home and begin to get intimate, but the two children are there. When Aram arrives, he tells the children everything about his and Sandy's relationship. Meanwhile, Sandy also tells her friends that she's fallen in love with her children's babysitter. Because Aram was only Ursurwurv, Sandy's friends mocked their relationship, but Aram did not care. The next day, Aram brought Sandy to his parents' house, where Aram's mother did not speak well to Sandy. Sandy realized from her actions that her mother did not approve of their relationship. As Sandy was Sister Wu, this did not bother Sandy, as Aram loved her and her children very much. However, Sandy began to feel that she was much older than Aram and that she was ruining his life. One day, while working in the office, Sandy began to feel strangely uneasy. She discovered she was pregnant. That night, Sandy told Aram about it. Hearing this, Aram is initially alarmed. He then tells Sandy that he also wants them to be together forever. Okay. The next day, when they go to the doctor tells them that Sandy is pregnant, but will not be able to give birth because she is too old. Hearing this, Sandy becomes upset and begins to argue with Aram. During the argument, she tells Aram that it is not right for them to be together, because she is Arsa's years older than him and their relationship cannot continue. Now, since they have no future together, they cannot live together anymore. With this, Sandy leaves. Sandy did not want to ruin Aram's life because of her. Aram tries hard to convince Sandy, but Sandy is unwilling to continue the relationship under any circumstances. This causes Aram to become very sad and leaves his job as a babysitter and travels to another country. However, after traveling to different countries, Aram only misses Sandy and her children. Meanwhile, Sandy was trying to be a good mother and even got a promotion at her job. 5 years pass, and Sandy becomes a successful reporter, traveling the world teaching children. Many women try to get into a relationship with Aram, but he wasn't interested in any of them because he loves Sandy exclusively. He now wants to be alone. One day, we see Aram with her children at a restaurant. Sandy meets Aram there, and they are delighted to see each other. Aram tells her that he adopted a child in Bangladesh a few years ago, and they now live together. When Sandy learns that Aram is still single, they both begin living happily together. The movie ends with a smile. Friends, please share the explanation in the comments section. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And hit the bell icon. Press so that you don't miss the upcoming videos. See you in the next video. Till then, bye-bye. Take care.